If you're looking for some inspiration, I have a renowned athlete with me right now and a mountaineer. You have been onto so many peaks of the mountains. You've traveled all over the world. Colin O'Brady and John O'Neill with Vail Symposium. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys.
Thanks for having me.
So you just accomplished something so huge. You had a really long trip. You summited Everest and Denali within 8 days of each other.
Yeah. So I just broke the world record for something called the Explorers Grand Slam. So to climb the tallest mountain on each of the 7 continents, as well as go to North and South Pole. All that in 139 days. And yeah, the last 8 days culminated with an Everest summit and a Denali summit just a week apart from each other.
What was it like hiking up Everest and Denali? I mean, those are 2 renowned mountains, and I mean, they're dangerous, they're fun, they're exciting. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, super challenging, both of them, and to do them so closely back to back was super tough. But yeah, you know, it was an amazing feeling to get to the summit. But certainly the risks are real. You know, 2 people on the same day that I summited Everest died out there. Not people who I was climbing with, but it just kind of puts into perspective how serious of a day it was when I was out there.
Yeah, it's not just a short hike up Beaver Creek. And, so you've had some things to overcome as well in your lifetime. And so tell me a little bit about what you've overcome and how that affected your wanting to be a mountaineer.
Yeah, you know, 9 years ago I was traveling in Thailand, just recently graduated from college, and then I was severely burned in a fire. 25% of my body was severely burned, mostly my legs and feet, and the doctors warned that I may never walk again normally. So to fast forward 9 years in the future and to be, of course, not only walking, but climbing and thriving and the top of the world is something that, you know, lying in that hospital bed, I didn't know that was possible. So it's been a really remarkable journey for me personally.
Was that your inspiration for wanting to kind of say, you know what, you've told me I can't do this, but I'm going to show you I can?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, before the mountains, the first goal that I set myself was to one day complete a triathlon. And so that's what I focused on during my recovery. I had never done triathlon before, but I went on to complete triathlon, not only win some races and turn professional in triathlon and race all over the world. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, you told me I can't do this, or that fueled my hunger to actually, you know, not only recover and walk again, but to thrive and run and succeed.
Okay, so you've been to the North and the South Pole. What was it like going to the ends of the earth?
You know, they're very different places from each other. I've done a lot of mountaineering in my life, but never been on polar travel. So you're out there dragging a sled with all your supplies behind you day after day after day. You know, Antarctica is the, you know, minus 40 degrees. You can, you know, take a cup of water and throw it into the air and it turns immediately into ice. Like that's, you know, that's how cold Antarctica is. And then the North Pole is a crazy place because, you know, it's floating sea ice in the Arctic. You know, you've got the Arctic Ocean below you. You've got cracks opening up. You can see the ocean, you know, big pieces of ice smashing against each other. So it's just a really wild environment. Very different from the mountains, but just harsh and challenging in its own way.
So tonight you're going to be speaking at the Donovan Pavilion in Vail. What are we going to learn from you tonight when you do that?
Yeah, it's really exciting to be here to speak at the Vail Symposium, you know, to share my journey, you know, from this burn accident all the way through this Grand Slam and all the different mountains and challenges I've faced throughout this whole journey, as well as sort of my charitable mission, which is all about inspiring kids to get outside, explore, adventure, and, you know, live active, healthy lives.
So it's definitely going to be a full house tonight. John, tell us what we need to know exactly about this event.
Well, it's so great to bring Colin on Good Morning Vail. Usually it's just me on these interviews talking to you, so hopefully that enticed you to come out. We're going to open the doors at 5:30 for a short reception. 6 p.m. begins the program. It is free entry, but we're expecting a full house. You have heard kind of the intro to what's going to be a really fascinating story, so make sure you get online and register in advance. I'd even recommend just getting on right now if you're at your computer or near your computer. Get on, register, even though it's a free event, it'll fill up. So looking forward to having Colin expand a little bit upon what he told you in a longer program this evening.
Yes, definitely a great preview to hear about what's going to be happening tonight. You can check Colin out later tonight at the Donovan Pavilion, 5:30, vailsymposium.org to get registered. Do it now, just like John said, because it's going to be a full house. Coming up next, we're going to take it back to Ken Hovey for the last First Chair.